Apologies, my phone died. We'll just give it a moment till everybody comes back in. Hi. Sorry, my phone died. Oh, jeez. Never! Oh my god. So funny. Hey Jeremy, how are you? How are you? Welcome. Have you just joined or were you here before as well? I was speaking on something and then my phone died. Good morning. Where are you from, Jeremy, by the way? Where are you based? Hi Prasangi. Welcome. Just waking up, hold on. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was speaking and then my phone died. Even though it's on charge. Weird. But I guess you shouldn't really Yes, I'm back. Sorry, Greg. My phone died, I guess. It gave up on me. To be honest, you shouldn't really be yeah, we are in the same life. I just moved. I just moved places, I guess. You wish you could talk to me. Priya, oh my god. You know, it's so funny, Greg. My mom, someone sometimes like pronounces my name wrong. She had this thing where she would just talk weirdly, like she wouldn't really talk properly. And then she used to call me Plia. Plia. And I was the only one whose name she could like mess up like that. Yeah. Bria's okay. Yeah. Plia. Am I from Punjab? I am Punjabi. Yeah, sorry, my Chia, God. Do you know Sri Yukteswar's name? Birth was Yogananda's guru. What no, I don't. What was it? Don't tell me it was Blia. Was it Bria? You're Punjabi too. Oh, no way. See, I feel like people's like their name on their YouTube just makes it like difficult to. It was Priya. No way. That's crazy. What? That's wild. I love that. That's like the best fact. It's doing bits for my ego. No, not even my ego. I think that's wow, incredibly profound. Thank you for sharing that. What was I talking about earlier? Oh, about guru. Yeah, finding a guru, right? I hope that answered your question, Greg. About he was born Priya Nath Karar. Wow, that's crazy. I want to tell my mom. But yeah, I hope I answered the question about finding a guru and stuff. Wait, let me get my phone, so I can. Oh wait, it's just turned on. Yeah, probably shouldn't get it right now. We'll leave it. I'll just answer questions at the moment. There's something that I was discussing with Ria that I wanted to. Okay, yeah. So recently, obviously, I've always made it very clear, like, I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always very into, like, like deep spiritual consciousness path, meditation, and all these things. I used to be someone who used to, like drinking and going out and boys and dressing, and all these things. you know, my sisters, I found both of them recently, they said something like on separate times. Like one of my sisters, Ria, said to me, oh, you know, for someone who meditates a lot and someone who has, you know, I guess because she sees the way I live my life now. And, you know, for someone who has, I guess, that discipline, you don't seem very happy. Like, you don't seem blissful. I thought people who meditated a lot are like really blissful and really happy. Um, you know, um, and then it was interesting because you know, I said to her, um, I was confused. I was like, whoa, is that true? Like, why, like, am I meant to be blissful all the time? Um, uh, is there something wrong with me? Am I not happy? Um, is this taking away from me? Is this not the path that I'm meant to be? Do I not feel fulfilled? You know, naturally these things rise up, right? Because when we have someone close to us who reflects something like that to us, and they see us a lot, it makes you question things, and it obviously made me question that. And then I went to ChatGPT and I said, look, you know, she says that I don't seem full of bliss, but I just feel calm. I feel calm, I feel stable. I sometimes feel like I don't actually want to talk. I don't feel the need to talk at times, you know. I don't feel the need to do anything at times, like outside of me. Like I don't feel the need to gratify myself. um you know, and yeah, like you just said, even the greatest gooders would often have an outward appearance of being glum, but inside they're in constant state of bliss. Exactly. You know, and ChatGPT was like, the way that you are happy and express happiness has changed. First of all, happiness is very fleeting, right? It's the things that are your natural state of being are joy, peace, and bliss, right? Love, sorry, joy, peace, and love. You know, my other sister was like, oh, you know, I was watching videos of you. I'm gonna close my eyes because sometimes I get distracted. Yeah, she was like, I was watching, you know, a video of you and you just seem so happy and jokey, like an old video of you, and I realized that, you know, you've changed now. um and I was like, yeah, I have, you know. And I was trying to explain to her that I don't feel emotionally turbulent anymore. I'm not going from one. Okay, if you give me permission, can I go? You may go if you want. Yeah, sure. Do whatever you want, whatever makes your heart happy. I don't go from one extreme to another. I'm not experiencing joy, like loads of joy and then loads of this and loads of that and loads of this. I just find that I'm stable and stillness. You know, I feel emptiness, I feel stillness, and that isn't empty. Like I made a post about this on TikTok, right? That's why I wanted to get up, but my phone's charging. But yeah, calmness and stillness and being unmoving and emptiness is God. It's God's state, you know. And you know, I was saying to Ria, it's you people may think I'm boring, but that's not who I am. That's only because they don't think the things that I do are fun. Because the things I do, I enjoy. You know, I enjoy and they're fun to me. Just because they're not your idea of fun doesn't mean they're not fun. So I feel like you do get to a point where on this journey you become a little bit more isolated. You change a lot, like the way that you are. You may be, you know, I used to worry. I guess I did have this thing earlier on in my journey where, oh, I don't want to feel like I'm boring or something, but now I don't really care. I'm not here to entertain, you know. Like, yes, my stream died. Welcome back, thank you for coming back. But yeah, I think it was really, that's why I love discussing things with ChatGPT, I guess, you know. When I have like queries or anything, because it really just validated me in a sense. The more you stay in your state, your family will pick up on it more. They will stop asking those questions and find themselves experiencing that peace. Yeah, I think so too. I think it does because, you know, it's really funny. like my mom and Ria, right? They'll sit and they'll be discussing things. And it's so funny because my mom will be telling Ria, do this, don't do that. And Ria will be telling my mom, do this, don't do that. And they'll be arguing about, oh, wait, I tell you to do that, but you don't do it. And then she's like, okay, well, never tell me what to do. And I just sit there and I just listen. And it's the most amusing thing. And I just don't feel the need to talk, even arguing. You know, I spoke to ChatGPT. I was just explaining to ChatGPT. I was like, look, I feel like this. I feel like this. I feel like this. I don't feel the need to talk. I don't feel the need to argue. I don't feel the need to explain myself. I don't feel the need to do anything, you know, any of these things. And then it was really breaking down for me what arguments are. You know, arguments are, let's say you are a system, like a computer system. You have a particular programming based on a different data set, right? Everybody has a different data set that works with their system. That is a culmination, like is their system, right? And then when you argue, you're arguing with different data sets about a certain, like through your system about something. And of course, there's going to be a mismatch because you're working with different data sets. You know, so a lot of times arguments are from your karmic loops that you're experiencing, your childhood programming, your emotional traumas, right? Your emotional reactivities, your triggers, things like that. And it doesn't really get you anywhere. Even like at one point, I felt the need, which I always used to do, right? I always felt the need to come in and save and be like, no, but this is it, you know, and provide the highest perspective. But now it's different because now I don't feel the need to do that anymore, because I'm like, what's the point? First of all, I could be wrong. Second of all, what's the point? Let it be. Like, let them do their thing, you know? I'm just still like, it's good. It's a good place to be. Videos are good. Okay, bye. Do you got I like talking to the AIs too. They do have a kind of tendency towards being psychophantic. So be careful. What's a psychophantic? I'm not sure what that is. Right, people getting reinforced their own opinion. Yeah, I get that. I get that. That can happen. I get that. I guess, you know, that's why it's not just about being aware of things happening, but like always being self-aware also. Like I said, like the statement I just said, right? When you know, when I felt the need to tell them, but this is right, you know, that's my spiritual ego, right? Coming through. She was like, wait, we do this, we feel peace, we feel stillness. So obviously I know the right answer to this. I will end this argument. I will put a stop to this. I will make everything clear and give you clarity and you'll never argue again. And then I thought, wait, hold on, honey. Maybe you're just being the hypocrite. Because most of the times that we talk, we become hypocrites because language is just like that, you know. Who was it Osho talking about language and the mind and how, you know, even, yeah, I think it was Osho in The True Name, about how language is just so limited. Like when we try to discuss God, it's difficult, and try to understand God, it's difficult because language comes through the mind and God is beyond the mind, right? Okay, see you WWE Stars Live. When you're around people whose natural state is to argue a lot and try to improve their point, it becomes a real test on our practice of staying present. It does. But honestly, you know what, Greg? It's just, I think it becomes, once you get the hang of it, it becomes really, when you become present and you can watch it, it just makes sense. And then it makes sense why silence is just everything. Silence is not empty. Silence is fullness. Silence is everything. And now, like I said, I get why gurus and saints and stuff, they don't sit there and just talk and talk and talk. They're just quiet. Why use AI when a night of coffee at Waffle House does the same? I don't know. Maybe for you. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to try it out. Hi everybody. But yeah, that was something that I guess that's like a revelation that I've had in these past few days. Where's my water? Oh, it's here. And you know what? I think that's one of the reasons I like talking with you. So many people around me feel the need to have to prove their point, but you don't. Oh, thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad. I guess then the need to feel to prove something just comes from the ego, right? Like, and especially when you develop a spiritual ego, you know, then you feel even more so righteous. But I think always kind of peeling back from that and peeling back from any identity. Like I always say, we're very I get my V's and W's mixed up because I used to speak German. I I used to feel very wary about identifying too closely with something, identifying with an opinion too closely, with an identity, even the things I talk about here. Sometimes when I'm off live, I'm like, I really hope people don't listen to me, you know, because I'm just talking, you know, and maybe some of the things I say may seem right. They may not be right. They may be hypocritical, whatever. I'm just speaking, you know, does that make sense? Like, I understand the mind enough to understand that even the things that I say are not always correct. I am a hypocrite, you know. It happens. Sometimes I see things weirdly. Sometimes I make assumptions. It's just a human thing, you know. The quiet is pregnant with answers. Most people can't take what they find there. Wow. Jeez. I love that. Pregnant with answers. It has all the answers. Because you know why? Because it is full of potentiality, right? It's the void. It's Lord Krishna. No, wait, is it Lord Krishna? It's Shivji, right? With the Hindu gods and goddesses, like they represent things, right? So yeah, Shivji represents pure consciousness, and that's the masculine, right? Like that's like the container of everything, and then Shakti is the energy that moves, right? So she's the flow of energy, and Shivji is the container, and the container is empty. Like it's the void, right? We all came from the void. We are the void. There is nothing. There is no sense of self. There is no self. There is no one meditating. There is no one listening. There is only meditation, and there is only listening. Does that make sense? That's why The Sound of Silence is awesome. The song The Sound of Silence. I've never heard of that song. I'm gonna have to listen to it. Greg. Did you Google that, Greg, or did you like work that out in your mind? Will I get a girlfriend? I love the fact that you think I can predict the future. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Garfunkel. What's that, Jeremy? I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. All right. Okay. I thought you were referring to me as darkness, and I was like, I'm okay with that, you know. Menu lagi ishq chuati tu kalo mile ki rati. As soon as you start looking for something, you find it. Oh, is that what Garfunkel means? Garfunkel. That sounds like an Simon. Oh, okay, Simon and Garfunkel. I was gonna say it sounds German. Is it German? Yeah, you do find something as soon as you stop looking for it. You know why? Because when you're looking for something, you become very like that, right? Very, you've got like blinkers on. And when you can just have an open mind, like I love doing the waking up app meditations, and he always says, right, okay, in the last minute, just keep your mind very open, don't try to do anything, just keep it open, just observe what's happening. And I can feel like my nerves relaxing, my scalp relaxing, because I'm no longer trying to meditate. I'm no longer trying to focus on anything. I'm no longer focusing on just my breath. It's like I can feel my mind just expanding. And that's how you feel expansive. You feel expansive by allowing your body to expand, like your awareness to expand outside of your body, and to understand that it exists everywhere. Also, hair holds memories. What your thoughts? Yeah, of course, it probably does. I think, yeah, it holds memories, it holds energy, right? That's why a lot of times, tying up your hair, keeping it twisted, maintains that energy. So sadhus, right, they tend to tie their hair up and they always have it here. It's a very spiritual thing. Even Sikhs, right, Sikh men and women, they keep it tied up and covered to protect their energy. I think it was not that. Okay. What is this song again? I'm gonna have to. Okay. What was the song again? It was Silence of something? Aage takkar lag from man. So does grey hair show memories fading away? No, so apparently grey hair happens, like your hair grays because you're stressed, and your body takes away, I guess, energy, nutrients or something from your hair follicles, and then uses that energy to distribute around the body. So people who tend to be in fight or flight and freeze mode tend to have gray hair. Like I remember one of my friends saying that she was stressed one day and three of her hairs turned gray or white, and I was, what? That's a thing? They just turn white instantly? But yeah, that's the thing. They can also turn black. You can reverse the process. So it's about how relaxed you feel. This is why having a regulated nervous system, feeling peace, is incredibly important. So can yoga help stop that? If yoga can help, if it helps you feel calmer, then yeah, I'm sure. Why not? The sound of silence. Thank you, Greg. And thank you, Sestrom. Crestrom. Doesn't anyone else in your family meditate? Does Ria? I think Ria does. I see her sometimes. Yeah, but other than that, my siblings not really. No. Hair color is not genetics. See, I think this whole thing about genetics, right? If you read Bruce Lipton's book, what was it? What was his book called? I can't remember. But he talks about how genetics and the study of genetics is outdated because it works with the premise, or with the idea of determinism, right? Oh, genetics, oh, you can't help it, it is what it is, your parents had it and now you're gonna have it. No, because it is your environment that dictates your DNA, that can change your DNA. It can dictate what genes turn on and off. So your environment wouldn't just be what's happening outside of you, but it would be your environment in terms of your thoughts, your beliefs, the state that you're embodying. So these states turn on certain genes, right? You may have a gene for white hair from your dad, but whether that gets turned on depends on your state, right? Your environment. Read the book. It's a great book. So don't be, you're not limited. You're a very unlimited being. lest we forget our limitlessness. Yes, Priya does Ria meditate. Wouldn't you like to know? Yeah, she like I said, I think sometimes maybe she likes to meditate in ways that aren't like sitting down. Like for meditation can be anything that helps you get in the flow state, right? And for her, she loves dancing. That really gets her in the flow state. So that's her meditation. Bruce Lipton, it's gosh, let me get my phone. Oh wait. Probably shouldn't eat this bruschetta. Oh, fine. He got down. Okay, let me find the book. What is it? Okay, it's working. Reject. The Biology of Belief. That's the one. Which one is cooler, white or black hair? Both. Yeah, person's genes. Also, it's yeah, in my opinion, both. Yeah, person's genes can literally change because of near-death experiences and pass those traits on. That's crazy. Exactly. You know, I spoke to this lady once in when I was food shopping, and she was saying how as soon as, because her, when she gave birth, it was so traumatic and difficult for her that her whole head turned white. Every single hair. And she was late 20s, early 30s maybe, turned white. I was like, that's insane. Walking is a great meditation too. Yeah, exactly. Anything that just, like I said, you know, meditation is your natural state of being, right? So anything that just helps you be in that state where those other things aren't present, like overthinking and stuff. I am Indian. A lot of younger people are getting grey white hair at a young age these days, and goes, yes, exactly. I watched this video that was speaking about this actually. It's because they're not having a regulated nervous system. They have more stress than ever, right? Like kids of other generations didn't have that amount of stress. They didn't have so many things vying for their attention, and it was just a different vibe, I guess, the more relaxed vibe. And you're welcome, Greg. How many times? I started turning grey at 25. Jeez. It can turn black. I have this thing, oh my god, where I always like look through my hair. So I have like white gray hairs like around here. Let's see if you can find. I just have an obsession with finding them and looking at them, and have an obsession at looking at rears and wanting to pull them out. I try not to pull them out, but sometimes I pull them out. Oh gosh, I need to stop. I don't even know what it is. And then I think, okay, you don't want white hair or gray hair, but you keep looking at it. You keep giving it your attention, you know, like why? So yeah, if you want something to disappear from your life, stop giving it your attention. That's it. Yes, young people have so many things, but their attention most of it isn't positive. Exactly. They're so far removed from the truth of life. If you look, you will find it. Yes, exactly, Theo. You will find it. I feel that is a very profound sentence, you know, that really sums up life and your power as a god. You want something, you'll find it. When you go through your partner's phone, you know, you're looking for something, you'll find something. Lol, blame the stress of family life. I started family at a young age. Wow. See, I guess it is what it is, right? What can we say? Let me find the thing I posted on TikTok. Oh, okay. I did put on my Instagram about this book that Ria recommended to me. It's called One. And it brings in, it's honestly one of like a very incredible book, and I've not really read that much into it. What it does is an amalgam of different religious teachings, cultural, you know, teachings, history, science, and it brings it together, and it takes the common message between everything to show you the oneness of life, to show you the truth. Just incredible. So it's called One, and it's on Kindle. I got it for like £2. Really cool book. But yeah, let me get the thing I posted on TikTok. Hang on.
You have a memory.
Okay. Where is it? Okay. Okay. So, the purpose of life, in some ways great, but when you struggle to do anything and everything for your family, it gets rough sometimes. I'd love for you to elaborate more on the video you posted on TikTok. Why do I I'm like, what does TT mean? About meditation and mindfulness today. Like, how do other people bring that into their lives? Okay, wait, let me just... I sometimes forget what I actually spoke about. Let's watch the video, okay? For anyone who hasn't seen the video. Oh, is it the 2 different stages of meditation, that one?
One is where you have an isolated.
Was it?
What I'm showing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
2 different stages
We'll show you
of meditation that I've realized. One is where you have an isolated meditation. You take time out, you sit on a cushion, you close your eyes, you relax, you focus on your breathing. You do this for about 20 minutes, maybe an hour, and then you go about the rest of your day. The second stage is where you don't find the need to sit and formally meditate. It doesn't have to be an isolated incident. In fact, your whole day is a meditation. I've made a post about this, and there were loads of little, it was like a carousel, there were loads of little points that I'd kind of, like my meditations, I guess you could say, just things that I've realized. And I realized that meditation is happening all the time. It's not something you're doing, it's just something that's happening. There is no one meditating because there is no self. And some people are going to get this and some people are not going to get this. And I guess this is for people who are going to get it, right?
Okay, so we will talk about this, the 2 stages of meditation. Okay, I think this, you know, this came from my personal experience, and then it was something that I decided to talk to ChatGPT about, because I realized that you know, so I never used to have a consistent meditation routine, and then I started to develop that, and then recently it got to the point where, I don't know, I would feel something like a resistance towards that, to sitting and meditating. And I thought to myself, oh, I'm not going to be able to do it. It's just thoughts, right? Like, I'm not going to be able to focus, I can't, you know, whatever it is. But what I realized was that during my day, I'm present, I'm connected to myself, I'm conscious. It's not that I'm unconscious. Because what happens is, a lot of times people can meditate, right? And I'd say that this is something that I've learned deeply more about. Like, this concept came into my life through the app that I would meditate on, Waking Up, because I can't remember his name. Oh my god, what's his name? It's like a Waking Up. Let me show you the app. That's what it looks like, Waking Up. What's his name? Sam Harris, yes, Sam. So Sam says, look, I don't want this meditation to just be it. I want you to take the things, the state in which you were in here, with you for the rest of the day. Before you do anything, before a moment of transition, right? Take a deep breath, connect with yourself. And how would you bring this into your life? Okay, what I would say is, for me, the way that it was brought into my life, it happened naturally. The first step was that I meditated. I sat down and did the formal meditation, right? And this meant that I would have a gist, like a feel of what it feels to be in a meditative space, to be aware, to identify it as the awareness, right? Have that shift. When I was used to having that state, I then understood the distinction between that state and the usual state that I would transfer into in the rest of my life, which would be not that state, right? There would be the meditative state that I experience when I meditate, and there would be a different state which was not so conscious. And then what happened was, I think the game changer was when Sam in his meditations would tell me to open my eyes and meditate. He would say, okay, today we're going to meditate with our eyes open. And then he would walk me through the meditation, right? With eyes open. And then I think that's the thing that changed it, because then there was no barrier anymore. There was no, oh, I'm just in my inner world because my eyes are closed. It was, okay, your eyes are open, you're staring at something, and now it's bringing that meditation into real life, right? Because even though it's not like I'm looking around everywhere, it's just I'm sitting still, I'm looking at something, I'm not even that focused on it. He said, just keep your, your vision field wide open and keep your gaze soft. And then you're just sitting there and you're just staring. And then he's like, okay, now you'll probably realize that it feels like there's a meditator here, and that thing that you're looking at is outside of you. But is it really outside of you? I don't know how he words it in such a way where you realize that that thing outside of you is not really outside of you, that you are everything. You are the consciousness that pervades everything. Your consciousness isn't just here. And he says, if it feels like the consciousness and the thing looking is just here, look back at it. Look at the thing that's seeing. What is it that's seeing? Where is the seeing happening from? And then he'll be like, okay, do it in a flash second. Like, be looking, and then turn around and look for the observer. Look, and then look for the observer. And then you look for the observer, and then you're like, where's the observer? And you can't find the observer anywhere, because the observer isn't behind your eyes. Those are just your eyes. There's just observing. This is what I said earlier, right? There's just observing. There is no observer. And observing is happening everywhere at all times. So what happens is that you understand that your awareness is everywhere. You can connect to it everywhere. So then that state is something that I can access during my day when my eyes are open. Because look, none of you are going to go through life with your eyes closed, right? So when you start meditating with your eyes open, that's when it becomes easy to just be in a meditative state all the time. Like, that's how it personally worked for me. But his meditations really help me. They just provide a guide. I don't know, it works for me. I hope that answered your question, Greg. But yeah, if that's something that you would like to make your like your norm, meditate with your eyes open. Play around with it, access meditation. First of all, meditate, like sit down and meditate if you can. Get used to that, that state. Get used to being able to do like 20-30 minutes sitting there and just observing. And then eventually meditate with your eyes open. Maybe find a guide, maybe get Sam's app, whatever it is. If you contact me, like if someone wants access to his app, I have a guest pass that he gives, so I can send you like a 30-day free guest pass. That's how actually I got it, because one of my followers, he told me about this app, and he said he sent it to me, and I started trying it and I loved it, and then I just bought a subscription. So if anyone wants that, just message me like on Instagram or wherever you can find me, and I can send you the guest pass. Try it out if that's what you want. If you want to do it your own way, solo, then of course you're welcome to. But yeah, opening meditation with eyes open, because meditation is just who you are. It's happening all the time, and you're just being present all the time. Yeah. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. meditation is a kind of state of mind you carry with you. Exactly. It's a state of being. I wouldn't even say it's a state. I mean, I guess you could, depending on what you think of mind, but yeah. Sort of peace and stillness that you can keep present in your daily life. Exactly. The resistance to meditating is something that I've heard others speak about and I've experienced it too. It's our ego not wanting to be stilled, and it's something to overcome. If you practice, you'll find this just will become less and less. I'm trying to learn myself. Hydration alert. Tell us how to without getting distracted. How to focus without getting distracted. Meditate. It's a muscle. I can't give you an easy fix at all, you know. The way I figured out was learning to take time to fully appreciate the moment and eliminating mental distractions to be fully present with my family. Good, I love that for you. When you meditate, do you need to think deeply about something, or is it emptying one's thought? Explain more. Okay, you don't need to do anything when you're meditating. You just need to sit and be and watch. Like I always say, meditation is just happening at all times. It's just noticing, you know? It's just awareness. That's it. And it's happening at all times, yet, but it's clouded because we have thoughts, right? We have thoughts that we get lost in, but we just want to watch them. It's like a thought comes, it's like, oh, what should I eat? And you're like, oh, what should I wear? I feel like this. Maybe we should watch a movie. And it's just like, you're just watching it, right? You just want to be the observer, and it's just like, and then you may get lost in it, and then thought becomes you, and then you come back and you're like, no. And then that's it. If I could visualize, like, that's how it is. This whole thing of watch the observer used to really confuse me when I first got into spiritual paths. In reality, though, it's quite simple. It is. Is it possible to meditate with eyes open? It is indeed. Because, like I said, meditation is happening all the time. And yes, you answered that question wonderfully. Thanks. Thank you. Have you ever, I'm intrigued, have you ever meditated with your eyes open, Greg? Hi, Harmeet. I'm Kirpa Maharaj. This is the song. Bro, I get sleep when I do meditation and eyes open. I get distracted. Meditation means killing thoughts for a while, isn't it? No, meditation is not killing thoughts. It's your second date, Mr. Godly. Good luck. Be yourself. You're wonderful. And that's it. Have fun. Meditation while opening eyes, isn't that daydreaming? No, because daydreaming is, if I was daydreaming, I'm sitting here, I'm not being present, right? My mind, my awareness is elsewhere. It's creating, it's lost in imagination. But when I'm meditating, I'm here, I'm present, I'm rooted in the moment. You know, my awareness is here. And also, another point to add would be, it's through the body. Be in your body, right? Be present in your body. Like, one thing that Sam says is, you know, one of the meditations I did with him that was really helpful for me was, okay, breathe in, like my eyes were open, then he said breathe in and feel that you are absorbing the consciousness, that you are absorbing the environment within you. And then when you breathe out, imagine that you're being projected into the environment, like into the outer world, right? So I'm absorbing it in, I'm being more present about being in my body, and then out. I'm expanding my consciousness. I'm bringing it back into my being. I'm expanding it out. I'm bringing it back into my being. I'm expanding it out. And then that way you're remaining grounded whilst having an expansive consciousness, right? Having a expansive awareness. It's through the body. The body is really, really important, right? Your breathing, how you feel. Look, that book that I spoke about, that book called One thing it said in there, right? It wanted you to get to the point where you realize there's only oneness. So there were certain questions that he asked. And the questions were along the lines of, did you have to make any effort to grow from being a baby to an adult? Did it require effort? Did you have to do something to grow? No, right? You know, is it random that billions and billions of people who have lived now and have lived before us have managed to get to adulthood? Is it random? Is it just oh, we just randomly happen to survive and thrive and grow and, you know, have this experience, all of us. It's not, right? And there were some other questions that he asked. But they're on that phone. So yeah, with these questions, unless I get my laptop, let me get my laptop. Let me see if it's in my laptop. Oops. Let me see if my notes come up in here. They will. Oh, what? You're not synced? How dare you? What have you got? Oh, fine. Yeah, so essentially the answers are no, you didn't make any effort to get to where you are right now, right? So to the end, what you get to the point is that there is a natural intelligence that is helping you, that helps your cells multiply, that takes care of you, that heals your body when you're unwell, that helps you grow from a child to an adult, right? And this natural intelligence exists within everybody and everything. And it is this beingness, this energy that gives life to things. Without this energy, that thing is dead. It no longer grows, it no longer multiplies, it no longer has any awareness, right? So that thing, that energy is God. And that is within everybody. So I was like, whoa, this is such a crazy perspective, because that natural intelligence is within me. It's helped me grow. It's taken care of me, taking care of all my processes and, you know, my cells, my healing, my growth, whatever. It's in everybody else. I mean, obviously, I always knew that I am God, right? That God's within me and God's within other people. But then I really was like, whoa, there's a natural intelligence in me. And that intelligence pervades the whole of the universe. And that's in everybody and everything. That makes sense? And it's about connecting with that energy. Like, some people don't connect with it. Some people have an empty life. Like in Sikhism, they say a lot. They say, you know, if you are not on the path where you remember God, or you have no awareness of God, you're basically like an animal. And that makes sense. You know why? Because only human beings can attain that God state in this lifetime. Animals can't do that. You know? So it's a wasted human life if you don't remember who you are. You don't remember your truth. Sorry, okay, let me just go through the it's the first time you're hearing about open eye meditation. It's a game changer. Open eye meditation. So letting your thoughts and worries go for a bit and just experience what's happening in this fullness without being distracted by anything else. Please don't answer this if you don't want to, but do you ever get lulled in your practice? Like, some days you feel the state of being is how you'll be for the rest of your life, but other days the practice is hard and part of you doesn't want to be spiritual, for want of a better word. Does that make sense? Like, some days you feel the state of being is how you be forever. Do I get lost? Like, does that go away? Oh, okay, I understand. I think what you're trying to say, Greg, is that do you ever feel like you want to be unconscious again? That you're conscious and you're like, it's work to be conscious, right? I think that's what you're saying, because I get that. You know, it can be annoying because you get to the point where you're like, isn't it just better to be ignorant? Like, it's just too much work. Like, why? Maybe, is that correct? Is that what you're trying to say? Do I feel like that? Maybe. But I think that's a thought, right? That's an appearance in consciousness. And then when I just become aware of that thought, I'm like, oh, okay, that's not actually me. I don't actually believe that. That's just a thought, you know? Does that make sense? Actually, some sages go to deep sleep in meditation, like some sages didn't open their eyes. That's true. Swami Vivekananda was a naked portion. You know, this is so interesting that Guru Nanak Ji, Buddha, and Swami, like other people, like a snake always approaches them when they're meditating. How fascinating. See, the thing is, you don't need to be spiritual. You already are. Spiritual, like, that's who you are. You're a spiritual being, right? I mean, if you want to, like, approach it from that lens. But maybe think of it from outside of that lens. That whole I'm a spiritual being is an identity. There is nothingness, right? The universe is nothingness. Does that make sense? You don't need to try to be anything because you already are nothing. Like, the moment you're trying to be something, like be more spiritual and be more like this or be more like that, I get it. You're creating restrictions to yourself, but you're spiritual at all times, no matter what you do. Like, that's just it. There was something that comes to mind that I feel it's just awareness, you know. I would like you to, Christians are commanded to meditate on the word of Jesus according to the scriptures. I would like you to divine meditation for me. Meditation is presence. So meditate on the word of Jesus. I guess, does that mean contemplate on the word of Jesus? I don't know. How many minutes should we meditate in a day? I don't feel like there's a right answer for this. I think, truthfully, like, we discussed different meditations, right? So if you're asking me how often should you sit and formally meditate, well, does that work for you? Does it work for you to sit and meditate? Because, like I said, what did we say? What is meditation? Meditation is presence, right? It's being aware. It's being in this moment. It's being here right now. It's being conscious. So when you are, for example, you listening to me right now, if you're just listening and you're not having, you're being aware of what I'm saying, you're aware of the thoughts you're having, right? You're identified with the awareness. This within itself is a meditation. Whenever you are present, you are meditating. That's it. You could be walking, you could be dancing. When you are lost in that thing, when there's an emptiness, like an emptiness, a void that exists in your mind. There's no thoughts, because, like, let's say you watched your child be born, right? You're so consumed with joy. Whenever you felt really good, you probably don't feel, you're not overthinking, you're just feeling, and that's what life is about. It's feeling, being in the body and feeling. Okay, maybe spiritual is wrong word to use. Maybe just living with constant awareness of consciousness is a better way to put it. It's so hard to write what I mean in limited text. I get that. Okay, so with what I said, do you think that I grasped what you were trying to say? Maybe just living with a constant awareness of consciousness is a better way to put it. Maybe, like, the way that you're, of course, tell me, if this is wrong. Constant awareness of consciousness. So when consciousness is awareness, so you're having awareness of the consciousness, that means you're creating a third party, right? Could that be a thing? So you've created a third party because you're conscious, you're just conscious. There's no other effort being made. It just is, But if it's like, oh, I have to be conscious, I have to do this, I must be like this, like, is it like that? Is that what it's characterized by, Greg? I'm just trying to understand deeper. Let me know. Yeah, in English, not English. Thank you. No worries. I can't remember what your okay. I would say it means to focus on the word of Jesus without letting other thoughts or concerns affect you into thinking about it. In that book, the one book, he talks about teachings from Christianity, from Islam, from Sikhism, well, not actually Sikhism, from Hinduism, and he really brings them together, and he really outlines how they're all just pointing to one thing, to one truth, one divine truth that exists. we've just glamorized the tool, you know, we've just glamorized the path, but the path, it's not about the path itself, it's the truth. That's the most important thing. You are part of the consciousness. Exactly, you are the consciousness. There is nothing but consciousness, you know. That's all there is. There is only oneness. You are everything. You are reality. You are me. You know, you're the device you're looking through. It can be difficult to grasp, I guess. Be difficult to grasp. The past looked awesome. Ancient India had topless women. Like a New Orleans Mardi Gras lol. Yeah. India was very very liberal. It was only up until you know, I believe colonialism, where they came in and they they presented this idea of purity, and purity meant covering yourself up as if a woman hadn't, because it's that a woman naturally, the way she is offensive, in that she needs to be covered up so that she's no longer offensive. Yes, you grasped it. What I mean is that staying in constant mind, state of realization of that oneness takes mental effort, and sometimes that effort slips, and sometimes it takes no effort at all. Well, maybe that's the problem, Greg. It's meant to be effortless, right? I guess that's why sometimes it's just a natural state. Yeah, whenever it's effortful, there's something wrong. I think there's something that's why it seems difficult to maintain it. You know. Yes, for me that only happens when worldly distractions become unavoidable. Chris, what did you say? Yeah. What do my eyes tell you about yourself? That I'm God. You know, if meditation requires stillness of the mind, then who is the observer? Okay, if meditation requires stillness of the mind, then who is the observer that notices the mind becoming still? Your thoughts, your soul, or something beyond both? Love that question. Okay, meditation requires it doesn't require the stillness of the mind, because the mind could be overthinking, but you're just not identified with the mind. It requires a disidentification with the mind, okay? And then the observer is who you truly are. The observer is consciousness. Consciousness is God. God is experiencing itself through you, through everything. God wants to know what it feels like to be Priya and live Priya's life with her, whatever she goes through. Priya wants to be Cipriano. Priya wants to be Cressroom. Greg, everybody, Jeremy, you know? God wants to be a phone and experience itself through a phone. God wants to be food. God wants to be an animal. God wants to be a plant. God just wants to see everything through everyone's eyes. It's like watching every movie that could possibly exist from every perspective that could possibly exist from infinite perspectives. So yeah, the observer, the consciousness is who you are. You're not Cipriano. You are not your likes, your dislikes, where you live, the way you look, your parents, or your idea, like your likes, your dislikes. You are the observer. That is who you truly are. Because that is the absolute, right? If you can observe something, if you can observe the mind, you're not the mind, because there's the thing being observed and there's the observer, and you are always the observer. I think there's a good reason that monks go into the Himalayas to avoid these distractions. See, it's really interesting because in Sikhism, you know, Guru Nanak Ji said about how you don't need to go to like the Himalayas or go anywhere outside of you, because someone with a full mind could go there and then they could sit and meditate, and maybe eventually they could meditate well and not be distracted, but there are no distractions, right? But I think the real superpower is when you can stay in society, right? And get to the point where there are no distractions. It's just about going deeper and deeper within yourself. Because going to the Himalayas is just a form of escapism, no? Like, of course, why? Of course it's going to be easy to go to the Himalayas and meditate. There's nothing there, you know? There's no triggers. There's no family problem. There's no, like, things that you need to think about, like money or status or wealth or your children or family or blah, 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 you know, whatever it is. But when you can maintain a level of stasis and maybe a level of stability, that's where the real power is. And that's doable. That's doable, you know? The Akashic Record, some people call it. Oh, okay. Yeah, wait, what is that in reference to? Akashic Record. Cracked keyboard voice text, just go back to your breathing. Cracked keyboard voice text. About the okay, some people, oh right, the Akashic Record. Oh, okay, yeah, the Observer is the Akashic Record, I guess, right? I remember when I learned about the Akashic Records and it felt like I had to go somewhere, but it's just who you are. Because every information about everything in the entire universe is within you, within your consciousness. Oh, Edgar Casey. Oh, okay. Edgar Casey, right? I feel like I started reading a book of his at one point. The Orantia book. Edgar Casey. Sounds familiar, for sure. But yeah, there's nowhere to go, nothing to do. Yeah, I guess that's something that me and Ria always talk about, you know? Like, Ria, it's funny because she said to me, you know, we're both on very different paths. Like, she is on the path of Tantra, and mine is a different path, and she sees it as a more religious kind of strict path, but I wouldn't really call it that. Well, that's her perception of it. But yeah, it's interesting because I agree with her. There is nothing to do. There is nowhere to go. There's nothing to read. There's nothing. You already just be. That's it. Just be. Be in this present moment. I know. Was it Crestrum who was talking about like family stresses? When you're being present, what family stress is there? Like when you're in that moment right now and you're not overthinking, right? What stress is there? Like, sure, your kids may be like, oh, like, pardon me if I, you know, say something wrong or like it hurts you, but think about it, really, you know, like, you're sitting, you know, everyone's happy, everyone's healthy. Okay, your kids are being annoying. Maybe they're shouting and they're not letting you watch TV or something like that. I don't know. But like, if you really think about it, most of our stress is in our mind. Oh, I need to do this. Oh my God, this needs to be done. Oh my God, this. Oh my God, you know? And you're trying to make things happen. But there's nothing to do. Maybe just give yourself, like, I don't need to do anything right now other than to be, you know? Exactly, all existence is the observer, the Akashic Record as well, who all stays in the collective consciousness. Yeah, exactly, the collective consciousness. We're also interconnected with each other. You know, okay, there was a point that I wanted to make. Okay. So, you know how they say that where you go and like the vibration of that place, it deeply affects you, right? It becomes who you are. You know why? Because there is only oneness. Where you go is the thing that is being animated. So right now, the only thing that exists in my world is my room and the things I can see. I'm the spirit my observation animates this room, animates this wall that I can see right now. Everything else, San Francisco does not exist. India does not exist. Spain does not exist. The temple does not exist. Nothing exists other than what I am observing right now. So when I was in the gondola, right, I'm sitting there and my eyes are closed and I'm like, whoa, okay, why is it that people say that it's good to come to places like this? Like, good to come to places of, worship and like things like that. Whatever you feel comfortable or connected or whatever. Like, why? Why is this different to going to a club or a pub or something like that? Or, I don't know, a graveyard or something? It is because I'm sitting in the temple. I am the temple. Does that make sense? Who I am is consciousness, and my consciousness is expansive. It is beyond my body. So if I am in a temple, I am the consciousness of the whole temple, right? The collective consciousness is what I'm feeling, the people, their thoughts. That is what I am. So I was speaking to Rhea about this. So when Rhea is, like, for example, when she goes clubbing, right? I said to her, you are everybody in the club. You are the vibes, the thoughts, the feelings of everybody in that club, because you are everything at all times. Consciousness is all there is. This is why be careful about where you go, because you become that thing. You are that thing. There is no difference and no separation between you and reality. Right now, you are all this conversation. You are all the vibes in this in this conversation right now. You are me, I only exist when my name pops up. Exactly, Theo. That's it. You only exist if I pay attention. If beyond this I sit and think about Theo, you exist. If I withdraw my observation from you, you dissolve. People from school, I don't think about them. They don't exist. They literally have ceased to exist. Yeah, the stress comes from the outside concerns pressing in. I'm not always perfectly able to keep presence of peace when rent is due. I don't have the money to pay it. You know what it is? You are the creator of your reality. You are the creator of your reality. You are the creator of your reality. Take your power back, Crestrom. Okay? Crestrom. Sorry. Can I get your name, by the way? You are not a victim, okay? Things aren't happening to you. It's you. It's your state. When you worry, like, let's say you don't have any money in your account to pay the rent, right? And you're getting really, really stressed. First of all, who are you identifying as? You are identifying as a human being with no powers. But if you thought, wait, I am God. I am the operant power in my life, which you are. You are God in your own life, okay? You are the intelligence that pervades the whole of the universe. When you sit there and you think about that, and you allow there, you surrender yourself, right? And you're like, I don't know how, but it's going to be paid. It's already done. It's paid. I've aligned with the timeline where it's done. And you just let that be. You are firm in that. You decide that it's going to be done. I promise you, this isn't just like, it's one thing knowing this intellectually, and it's one thing living in it. What's the point of learning it if we're not going to live with it, right? It's not coming from outside of you. It's coming from within you. Everything comes from within you. You're stressed about something, it's because of you. You're angry, someone made you angry. No, they didn't. It's you. Someone made you sad, it's you. Someone made you jealous, it's you. It's always you. Take responsibility, and then you become the God in your life, The observer effect, like I was saying earlier, is not just something confined to a laboratory experiment. It is the way life is generated. Your observation is everything. If your consciousness is the observer, then what is the nature of you that is aware of your consciousness observing? Is that not a second layer of awareness beyond consciousness itself? That's such a good point. Wait, let me think about that. If your consciousness is the observer, then what is the nature of you then? Am I aware of my consciousness observing? Yeah, I am. That's so weird. I guess that's that's a part of the mind then, I guess, because ultimately it's just the observer, right? Yeah, I guess that would be just an aspect of your mind, I think. That's a really good question. Would you say that you just described what you question was right is to do with manifestation? I find this out. It is. It is to do with manifestation. It is because manifestation is essentially what's happening all the time. We, through what we observe, are manifesting at all times. Literally, everything is just manifestation, manifestation, manifestation. It's coming into reality, right? It's coming into fruition. And that happens based upon what you are observing, because you're not just the observer, you are the generator of your reality. Through what you observe, you generate, right? Like Theo said, if you look for it, you'll find it. Why? If you look for it, if you observe it, you'll find it, because you observed it, you generated it, and you found it. If you observe in your life limitations, you will find limitations. You know, oh my God, look, I looked at my bank account and I don't have enough money to pay the rent. Oh my God, limitation. What are you going to find more of? Limitation. You looked for it and you found it, and you'll continue to find it, because that's how you programmed your system. If you look at it and say, all right, okay, from a, you know, like a neutral baseline, right? Like a calm, like, okay, cool. There's this much of money in my bank account, money which is just numbers in a screen, right? That's all it is. Don't give it too much, and like, don't give it too much importance. That's the problem. We give it way too much importance. They are just numbers on a screen, in a dream. Boom. But it happens, of course. I'm not saying I'm away from this. I get it. You know, I fall victim to this also at times. But obviously, just because that happens doesn't mean that I can't tell people, like, you know, what's up. So yeah, you can look at that, right? And you can be like, okay, numbers on the screen, cool, whatever, I don't care, it's gonna be paid. But it's the fact that your mind will step in and say, no, it can't be paid. I don't have enough money. How can it even be paid? I haven't worked, blah, 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 blah. But what if it was just paid? Don't rely on yourself. Like, you're, like, humanly self. You're far more than that. I live abroad. Like everything, man. You keep your point. You keep your point to everything she speaks. It's sure how because I know everything she speaks on you. It's funny. Basically, Greg, how are you so freaking smart? It's by using the observer effect to collapse reality into what you focus your energy on. Exactly. That's it. See, it's you understand it intellectually. Now it's just about applying it. From the screen to ring, what have you put a strange comprehend? But yeah, that's it. Once you start living life through that divine observation, life changes. Like, for example, I was talking to someone, right, and they were telling me how they got more into meditation, and, you know, things they would think of would just happen. You know, they wanted someone to move from a spot that someone was sitting at, that person moved. They wanted something else to happen, that thing happened. They wanted something else to happen, that thing happened. Now you may think, no, he lied. It's not true, it's coincidence. No, it's freaking not. Have you ever gotten to the stage where you are so aligned with your reality that you can experience these things? Why would you rule something out like that, right? It could be possible. It could happen, and it does happen. Yesterday, like the other day, I was going into you know, I was going to Lidl and I remember thinking I needed to get something for my cats. I needed to get like something that they can sleep on, and they didn't have anything in Lidl, and I was like, oh, I can't be bothered to like go further to go look for it. So I said I'm gonna walk in there and they're gonna have it, and that's it. I walked in and they had it. Why am I'm not surprised. Of course they did. I am the creator of my reality. I want it, it's done. That's the kind of attitude you need to walk around in life. You want something, it's freaking done, okay? You said it, you wanted it, it's done. Finito. Alright? Do you plan whole year 26? No, of course not. Come on now. I don't plan anything. It's not smart. These topics are just fake people to follow around you. Just you guys talk about improving life. You know how to improve life by handling a problem by their own. You guys sitting here, yeah. Interesting. Bye. Existential philosophy. Why do I motivate all day? I'm just being. It's just my natural state of being. I guess God just like, I think you'd be good at this. Are you motivated? That's the real question. You're a coincidence. There are no coincidences, Theo. There are no coincidences. You're not a coincidence. You are a carefully curated part of my consciousness. Like, my consciousness is so vast and so, like, everybody's is. It's consciousness, right? It's so incredibly intelligent that it drew you in. You know? No, it's not all about just willing things to good. You also have to put through thought interactions, mantra, mandala. Of course, yeah. I mean, yeah, of course you don't. Well, yeah. You get, like, let's say you want to be on a podcast, for example. Like I'm putting this intention out there that I want to do more podcasts, you know, I want to go and speak and like have discussions. So I put that intention out there, right? Not just the intention, but I know I'm going to be doing them. You know, I've done them already. It's done. That timeline exists. I'm on it. Boom. Rest. Creation's already finished. And now if I get an opportunity, like when the opportunity occurs to do a podcast, of course the action is go do the podcast. You wanted to do it, now go do it. Boom. You know, like that's the way I see it. It wouldn't be, oh, you want to do a podcast, oh, okay, now let's go message people, let's go and ask someone, please let me be on your podcast. It's not going to be like that. Like, I don't know, if I'm just clarifying that it wouldn't be that, you know, just in case someone gets confused or something. Do you plan your week or day? No, not really. I used to be on the fence about coincidences, but I think I told you something that happened recently that were too close to people. There are no coincidences. You know why? Because coincidence insinuates that something beyond God is at play. That there is some randomness happening, that you are not connected to reality, that there is some sort of distinction between you and reality, which is just untrue, you know? And coincidence, the word, means to coincide, means to come together. So how can something that is saying that at its core means to come together, how can we say that it's random? The only reason they want you to think of coincidences that are things that come together that are random is because they don't want you to understand how connected you are to reality. They want you to think that you are the victim of your like of the world, you know, when you're not. Right, your will is half the battle, then you have to take the action. The universe will make it according to your wishes if you will. Exactly. Tell me a way which does not require much effort. I do not have to learn quickly. I have to learn slowly. What are you trying to learn? Where there's a will, there's a way. Exactly. Oh, I love that. I love that saying. Yes, Dexter. Have you changed your name? On how did I learn such good? Oh, you want to learn English like me? Okay. I live in England. That's how. Oh, I love that. It insinuates that there is something beyond God at play. I'm going to use that one in the conversation. Oh, yeah, of course. I don't own anything, you know. It's really interesting, you know. I remember watching this and hearing about Guru Nanak Ji, right? And then, you know, he was counting. He worked at this shop, like this little shop, and he would give people rations. So he would give them a certain amount of food, you know, that was given by the king, I guess, or the Nawab. And then he would get to, he would count, and it would be like ek, do, tin, char, as in like 1, 2, 3, 4 in Punjabi, right? And then it would get to tera, which is 13. And then every time he would give food, he would just say tera, 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 as in like it's all yours, it's all yours, it's all yours, it's all yours. Because it's true, everything is God's, you know? So I don't own any of the like things I talk about here. So it didn't come from me, you know, it didn't come from Priya. It's just consciousness. How can we own that? Imagine that. I'm gonna put consciousness on my name. You know? I just love mega. Yeah, I'm Priya Rani number 2 fan. Okay, so you changed it to Dexter. Okay, you changed your name. Cool. How long have you been living in England? Okay, I've been living here for 21 years. A long time. Is your throat not sore? Oh my god, that's funny. That's funny. But yeah, there's only God, you know. The thing is, when we believe in coincidences, you're sending, like, the way that, like, the visual I'm getting of that is your awareness is far too, you're outside. Your awareness isn't even within you, because when your awareness is within you, right, and around you right now, because what do I say? I say that your spirit animates the room. Really think about this. Nothing outside of your observation exists. If your mom, you're not currently observing her right now, she doesn't exist. Your partner, you can't see them right now, they don't exist. Austria doesn't exist right now. Germany doesn't exist right now. The moment you guys are gone, you don't exist if I don't pay attention to you anymore. You know? Please give me, are you a public speaker or something? How do you talk so intellectually? What do you study? Awareness. I don't study. Awareness is the most, like, the deepest intelligence there is. So meditate. If meditation allows you to observe your thoughts without identifying with them, then what exactly are you? A thinker who produces thoughts, or an awareness that exists independently of them? You are the awareness that exists independently of them, right? Because if we can observe them, then we are not them. So your thoughts are things that just float in. When you sit and you meditate, right, you become more and more familiar with the nature of your mind. That's what Sam says. He says that meditation is to familiarize yourself with the nature of the mind. When you understand the nature of the mind, you understand everything, because you understand that, whoa, I've been so lost in my mind. I've been living through my mind, but this isn't even who I am. The mind is the most untrustworthy thing ever. 1 minute it's like, I want candy. 1 minute it's like, no, chocolate brownies. No, I like this. No, I don't like that anymore. I really believe in this. Oh my god, yes. I'm all for this. I'll love you forever. Oh my god, no, I don't want to be with you anymore. You know, it's just constantly changing. Your other moderator really wanted me to change my name. He's so rude in the chat. Oh no. I'm sorry about that. You didn't have to. Don't listen to him. He means well. Yeah, like, he means well. He does mean well. Have I studied philosophy? Not that deeply, no. Technically, they don't exist. They don't exist. They'll come back and you'll feel like they exist because they've had their own like stories and like things happen, but they don't exist. Hey, glowing phoenix, I am wonderful. How are you? The fact that so many people are beginning to wake into these things is proof of what scientists has called the 100th monkey fact. It's proof of Akashic records. It's very true. It is. I mean, it's a wonderful thing, you know. The more conscious everybody becomes, the more life will change. Because look, most things that are dark and painful and whatever, they are done from unconsciousness a lot of the times. Because when the light of consciousness shines, you can't continue to do the things you would normally do. I was reading the other day, if monks talk about their meditation experiences to each other and generally it's forbidden to stop spiritual ego happening. Wow. I get that. I completely get that. You know, it's I get really I get really amused by my spiritual ego. I love catching her and she's like you know, like that's how I can express it. But yeah, it's really interesting to watch her. I changed my name because I feel uneasy. I feel you feel uneasy. No, why would I feel uneasy about it? But that's really sweet of you. Thank you. But no, I didn't. No, it was sweet. Whatever you feel comfortable with, you know. They do, however, speak to their teachers about it to ensure they're making progress. Interesting. Which is funny within itself, you know. Because that's coming right back to the mind, right? Does that make sense? This idea of progress. Where does that exist? Because there's nothing to do, nothing to be. That's the ultimate realization. You know? You get such inner peace when I hear you talk. Oh, this is so sweet. Thank you. Sweet, thanks. I'm glad. Even though, yeah. I was gonna like proceed to, I don't know, say something weird to myself. I've got to go do things in my corner of existence now. Pleasure speaking with you, love. Pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for your participation. Thank you for being so open. And yeah, forthcoming. It's been a pleasure. Can you please tell him to be a little concerned about the chat removing messages? Oh, I will. Okay, I'll speak with him. I'll speak with him. I can see, I understand where you may feel like he can be maybe a little bit harsh at times. I live in England, that's how I know English. I think we should have a disclaimer that spiritual ego is okay in these prayer-led groups of discussions because ultimately it's all positive growth. Okay. Are you sure, Greg? She's a pretty wild one. It's yeah, she's pretty wild. She loves it though, you know? And it's okay. It's okay to have a few vices, you know? It is. It's good. Yeah, if it helps people, I guess, I mean, you have to have some sort of basis, right? And sorry, I'm getting distracted. Hello? Ow! That hurts. But yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna call it a day. Thank you so much for being present. Thank you so much for you know, your openness, your love, your kindness. Thank you for existing. Oh, hey, NWC Wolf. Hello. Pertaining to your statements on consciousness awareness. So if it, oh, sorry, my leg. So if a tree falls in a forest and no one's around to hear it, does it still make a sound? No. And I love that you use that because that's exactly, like the example that I use. Usually I say, does it exist? Like, did it happen? And no, it didn't. It didn't happen. Because how would you even prove that it happened? You'd have to be there. Someone would have to be there. And then that means observation, right? But yes, that is all for today, namaskar. Is that, can you say bye with that as well? I don't know. But namaskar anyway. I honor the divine in you. Okay. Thank you, Greg. I hope you have a wonderful day too. Bye, everybody.